Permit requirements. In Chapter 21, a full permit is required for the construction or replacement of a permanent crossing when crossing a water body with a 250-foot shoreland area. So if you look at your zoning maps and you see a water body that has that hot pink surrounding it, and you're going to cross that or replace a structure that already crosses it, you need a full permit. Also, crossing a non-forested freshwater wetland greater than 4,300 square feet in size requires a full permit. That's new. That's new language, that if it's a non-forested freshwater wetland bigger than 1/10 of an acre in size and you're building a road across it, permanent road, you have to have a permit to do that. And then the third thing that would trigger that, and we'll get into this in a minute, is if you're putting a crossing in that doesn't meet permit by rule standards, you would have to it would escalate to a full permit, but that doesn't happen very often. So an individual permit is required for each crossing. That's these up here. Permit by rule is a little bit different. We impose reasonable terms and conditions when granting permits. And here's the big one: must be submitted at least 60 days prior to the start of construction. Those have to be submitted and they actually go to external review for a comment. So we have to send those out like we do variances, PMA permits, all the permits that we do. We have to send these out as well to external agencies and internal within state government, IF&W, for example. So there needs to be some lead time for us to get those comments back. You can't call us today and say, I want to build a road and I want to start next Monday for a fall harvest. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Minimum, we say 60 days. Minimum, with all the timing and back and forth and allowing comments, we're doing really good if we get a permit out the door in 30 days, more likely 45. So plan on a little lead time if you need a permit. Permit by rule. This is new. This will be new for the unorganized territory. In the past, you could fill out your harvest notification and just check off the little box on the notification that says we're crossing brooks, and that's it. Chapter 21 requires permit by rule for the installation of permanent crossings, unless a full permit is needed. All standards must be followed, which are the things I talked about: seeding the culvert and fish flow and all the other things. Maintenance, repairs, and some replacements of crossings are allowed without a PBR. And I'll go through that in just a second. So you can maintain, repair, and replace an existing crossing without a PBR as long as you do these bullets. Erosion control measures are taken to prevent sedimentation. The crossing does not block fish passage, matches the natural stream grade. If it's a culvert, you must embed it, and we have to be notified. And notification can be as simple as a phone. It doesn't specify what notified means, but it does state in there we have to be notified that it's happening. So those 4 bullets up above shouldn't look different than what's really required in the standards anyway. So you're allowed to remove a bridge or a culvert and put a bridge in there and replace that crossing without a PBR as long as you follow these 5 bullet points. Where you need a PBR is if you're installing a brand new culvert or bridge for the first time. It's a new installation and it's permanent. It's going to be there for more than 7 months. That's when you need a permit by rule. I know large landowners are doing lots and lots of replacements. As long as you follow the standards, you don't need a permit by rule. So this is important. Use our form, not DEP. Theirs costs at least twice that much, maybe more. I haven't seen their fee in a while. Send it to us. You can put multiple crossings under one fee, one form. So if you're putting your road plan together and you've got 4 crossings in a town, same town, you can do that for $125, one fee, one form. Keep this in mind. So July 15th to October 2nd, there's no waiting period. You could, July 16th, you could put a stamp on the envelope, send it, and start building your bridge that day. Outside of these dates, there's a 14-day waiting period, and we also need to see the IF&W biologist timing form. There's a form that has to be signed by a biologist that says that the installation outside of these dates is acceptable or okay. We look at that, we take that into consideration when we're granting the PBRs. We do not track the biologist down. That's on the applicant to get that form filled out and turn that in with the PBR. Oops, why can't I do this? This is the next to the last slide. So the question of variances comes up a lot. What happens if you cannot follow the shoreline harvesting standards? Variances are an option. It's a high hurdle. It's not a guaranteed option. It's not a slam dunk. We've seen variances that have been really well done. We've seen variances that haven't been well done. Every situation is a little different. We have to look at the resources that are there. We have to meet a fairly high hurdle that's actually in statute. And it's the burden of proof is on the petitioner to demonstrate that strict compliance, you can't follow the rules because of all of those things. Site conditions, unusual hardship. It can't be caused by the owner or predecessor. So it can't be something that was caused by you, the owner now, or someone before you. Purpose of intent, that's usually relatively easy to meet, and then the public interest is otherwise served. But it has to be a unique condition. It can't simply be a guarantee that if we file this form, off it goes and we know we're going to get it. Every one of these is a little different, but variances are an option. You know, we've issued several, we've denied several. We have to look at all the things, see what we get back with comments. We don't know what we're going to get back for comments on a variance until we send it to external review. And once we get that back, then we have to make a decision. It's called a finding. Those findings we have to run by the Attorney General's office. So it isn't just simply me or Brian or Randy or even Mort saying, yeah, this is great. We'll just grant a variance. There's some hurdles here that have to happen, and they're legal hurdles. It's not that we don't want to grant variances. We have to follow a certain procedure when we do that. But know that they are an option. They're not off the table. They certainly are something. We've granted a fair amount of variances for things like hemlock woolly adelgid, emerald ash borer. We've granted some. So they're an option out there. We have a whole slideshow if anyone's interested, and I'll share that with folks. We'll put it on our website, and I can share you the link if you want to see it. But Mort put together a variance explanation 3 or 4 years ago, covering the requirements of a variance, what has to be in a variance petition, and what we look at when we review it, the process. We're happy to share that PowerPoint if anyone wants that.